Hello guys and welcome back for the May JRPG News Roundup. We start with the Falcom News as always. On the merch side of things, Pinbox announced their collection of 20th anniversary t-shirts for the series. They sold out extremely quickly. The good news though is that they recently got restocked, so as of the time of recording, they are readily available. On the Japanese side though, the Falcom store put up pre-orders for these Trails themed keychains for 1500 yen, and also Nadia's bear releasing in September 2024 for 6000 yen. They were shown on the recent Dengeki livestream for potential buyers to get an idea of what they'll be purchasing, and as always, Japanese retailers will require the use of a proxy service like Treasure Japan if you want them yourself. On the game side of things, we start with some great news for Falcom as a whole. They released their second quarter results this month, and it detailed that the company has exceeded sales expectations in North America, Europe and Asia, with operating profits up by 26%. In light of the future releases though, Falcom have stayed the course and kept their future projections conservative. The Northern War mobile title hit 1 million pre-registrations before its release this month and is also released on PC worldwide, though it hasn't been well received due to its shoddy translation. Trails Through Daybreak is launching its demo on June the 4th for PS4 and Switch, so those looking forward to its release in the West can give it a whirl in advance. Ys Memoir, the Ofenfelganer, has launched for PS4 and PS5 in Japanese, Chinese and Korean, but no word yet on an English release, nor any confirmation if it could actually happen anyway. Ys 3, Wanderers from Ys, on the other hand, the original of Ofenfelganer and a side-scrolling adventure similar to Adventure of Link, is now available on the Nintendo eShop. English does seem to be a supported language for this one. Ys 10 Nordics will have its release date shared at this year's Anime Expo. I imagine Kondo will ramp up the hype a little before it happens as a guest of honour, and that's not all, because NIS America have also stated that something big is going to be announced at the event, and a lot of people will be waiting in anticipation for that confirmed localization of Crimson Sin. The final part of the Falcom news will be related to Kai no Kiseki, so if you'd rather avoid anything related to the game, skip forward to this timestamp. Kai no Kiseki's logo was shared, along with the reworked sprite art for Aaron, Ferry, Reset, Quatra and Judith. This was shown via Famitsu, and these are often followed by a dedicated livestream soon after. And that's exactly what we got. In this livestream they went over the sprite work, but they also showed the improvements in the crafts and S-crafts of the characters between the original Kuro and Kai no Kiseki. The original was already decent, but they really have improved the animation for Kai. They look so much more impactful and dynamic. I was massively impressed with what they showed in terms of improvements on that front. But they also shared one of the most hype trailers I've seen for the series for a very long time. A 30-second clip, so not too long, but what they shared in that 30 seconds was just chef's kiss. Returning characters who are seemingly relegated to the deepest pits of Gehenna like Kevin, we have Rufus, Reen. I'd like to think there will be more too. That trailer was everything I wanted to see, and I'm hoping that they can follow through on that and deliver what could potentially be the best game in the series. Dengeki of course did share their exclusive limited edition. This 20th anniversary set will include a B2 poster with the 20th anniversary artwork of the series and a metal plate depicting all the protagonists. Not Kevin unfortunately, but baby steps, you know. But if you'd rather not buy that one, you can buy the standard limited edition from Falcom directly, or do so via another retailer. They all have their own specific bonuses for doing so. Finally, in this livestream, Junki kind of playfully dismissed talk of something being in the works for Trails in the Sky. Hansuke was very quick to pick up on this, and the plot thickens even further in regards to that. To the general JRPG news now, and we're starting with merch. The physical version for Sea of Stars is now available for European fans via IM8-bit. It costs 35 quid. My one is currently in the mail as we speak. Atlus are up next, and a Mega House Futaba figure due for an October 2024 release is up for pre-order at 26,000 yen. There has also been an update that the kick-started rearranged albums for Megami Tensei 1 and 2 will be put up on the Bandai Namco store for 3,300 and 2,200 yen respectively, though no release date was given for those. The limited edition for Furyu's new release Rain Artist is now available on the NIS America and EU stores. The scale figure of Mio via Good Smile is also available to pre-order, releasing in Q4 2025, and it comes to $94, so not exactly that expensive as far as scale figures go. The Spiritel figure of Sophie from the Atelier series is going up for pre-order in June for 22,000 yen and releases in December this year. And Riser has got yet another figure, this time from Furyu. It's a noodle stopper, costs $34 and releases in Q1 2025. Noodle stoppers are basically figures that are put on top of lids for ramen containers so that they basically don't boil over. We end the merch roundup with Square. Sega have got Sora plushies as part of their crane game setups for the next few months, another reason why their crane games are miles better than the West. And lastly, this 15cm high A2 figure is releasing in Q1 2025 for $26, but as of the time of recording, pre-orders on Good Smile appear to have closed. 2D developer news now, and we're starting with Square. The Steam version of Star Ocean's second story R has had Denovu removed. Always good to hear on that front. Yosuke Saito has stated that he is working on a new project with Yoko Taro. He has stated that, quote, "It could be near or it might not be near." What a tease. And following on from Near Reincarnation, a couple more mobile titles have ended service in light of Square's shift in business strategy lately. Dragon Quest Champions is ending service on July the 30th after a year of service, and Dragon Quest Keshi Keshi is ending service also around this time. It lasted for around 2.5 years. In other Dragon Quest news though, there was a very notable announcement for a rumoured release. That will be noted in the upcoming releases section, but Yuji Horii has reaffirmed to fans that Dragon Quest XII is still being worked on, and in light of Dragon Quest Day, he wants the game to be worthy of the legacies of Akira Toriyama and Koichi Sugiyama. Now in regards to that strategy for Square, we got a lot more information as to how they're planning to do that. Square have laid out a 3-year business plan this month aimed at long-term growth, calling it Square Enix Reboots and Awakens, 3 years of foundation laying for long-term growth. This strategy is composed of 4 pillars with the focus set around shifting from quantity to quality. The pillar that took my interest was the second one. This desire to shift away from exclusive titles and go for a multi-platform strategy to diversify earnings. I'd like to think that by now Square have realised that sticking solely to PlayStation for launch isn't going to cut it anymore, and now it seems they're getting with the times. That's only good news for us, so expect to see new releases on your platform of choice going forward. Koei Tecmo have shared milestones for 2 of their recent releases this month. The Atelier Marie remake hit 120,000 units sold worldwide, and Fate Samurai Remnant hit 410,000 worldwide sales. They've also announced that mobile title Blue Reflection Sun has ceased service this month, meaning that it lasted just over a year. Well, that's not surprising at all. Vanillaware are up next, and the developer for Unicorn Overlord has expressed their regrets for the game in that they weren't able to include everything they wanted. We heard that the game had some budget troubles by the end, and they had to cut some ideas like more ranged classes and the idea of armor dropping off as units became more damaged. Vanillaware have also stated that they are hiring staff for a new fantasy action RPG, so keep an eye on that one. The indie studio Wild Rose are up next, who of course are working on the Shadow Heart's spiritual successor in Pennyblood. We're mentioning this because at present the game has yet to find a publisher, which means it could be at real risk of discontinuation. Hopefully it does get picked up soon. Marvelous Games have trademarked 2 names this month: Guardians of Azuma, which is likely the Rune Factory spin-off title, and Farmagia, which is obviously Project Magia. Ryuga Gotoku are up next, and in light of last month's information that they were looking to get started on the next Like a Dragon entry, they have opened auditions for the so-called Minato Girls, which will be part of that game. The creators of Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes 505 games have been releasing a bunch of patches this month to sort out the release of the game, and as a person who played the original build version, it did need some pruning. Issues like soft locks, disappearing party members, menu freezes, and the recruitment of certain characters have all been sorted. Aqua Plus are up next, and there's been some noteworthy developments for them. Near the end of this month, the entire Utawareru Mono series was heavily discounted, and it's still going as of the time of recording. The reason for this? We might be getting a new game in 2025. The trailer in question was for the Great Aquaplus Festival 30th anniversary, which is taking place in November this year, but at the very end of the trailer there was a note of the year 2025, and then it was followed by the two hearts logo and the Uta Warerumono logo, which is the one I'm more focused on. This suggests that a new entry is coming following Monochrome Mobius, and if it's going to be announced, it'll likely be at that festival. Nintendo have stated that a Direct is due for next month, so maybe we might see some JRPGs in there. It's also been suggested that the successor for the Switch will be likely announced by March 2025, but there will be no mention of this during the Direct. And talking about Nintendo, our next port of call is Aniplex, and the re-release of Tsukihime A Piece of Blue Glass Moon. A very sought after visual novel for Type Moon fans, and the physical edition has been selling pretty well. It's been noted this month though that the PS4 version of the game has a censored version of the art book, evidently to fit in with Sony's conditions, while the Switch version does not. Worth mentioning if you want to purchase it yourself. The game itself though remains unaltered between both platforms. That physical edition will also be available in Europe too, as stated by distributor Just Stand Games late this month. And since we're mentioning Sony, it seems right to jump over to Stellar Blade, as it's been suggested that a PC port is under consideration, though others who have also read the article state that they couldn't see any mention of this. What was clear though is that a sequel is under consideration, and sales are exceeding expectations. The new game that the dev is working on, that was mentioned last month, is known for now as Codename Witches, which is a cross-platform gacha title. The recent Kickstarter for Runa has reached £300,000 this month, which means it has met the threshold for its secret goal, which is yet to be shared as of the time of recording. Bandai Namco are up next, and their long-running live service title Tales of the Rays will be shutting down after 7 years of service, which represents the final of the wave of mobile games that they launched over the last decade. Despite failing worldwide, Rays was the only one to last more than 2 years, and has certainly garnered a reputation nonetheless. A memorial book will be releasing in fall this year for 13,200 yen, pre-orders end in July. We jump to level 5, and the CEO has stated that he would like to jump to 18+ and Aero titles in the future when the studio is stable. Interesting, but I'd say for now, just focus on actually advertising your current releases. Now this one's loosely tied to JRPGs as it acts as a platform to sell physical copies, so I thought this was worth mentioning. Limited Run Games found themselves in a bit of a pickle this month. It came to light that their physical copies used burned CDR discs rather than being properly pressed, which basically meant they couldn't be played on the original hardware. This came to light when people were trying to play a re-release of the game D on the 3DO game console. They have since released a statement to apologise and rectify the issue, but it's not acceptable. Cutting corners for collections that are already overpriced in my opinion is a bad look. Back to the games though, with Furyu, Rain Artis has stated that there will be no English dub for the title. They also shared new information on the game, including mechanics like suppression and liberation mode while exploring, an active party of 3 switchable members, and the use of graffiti that grants new powers. Psy Games have established a new branch in Singapore this month. Be interesting to see if this leads to any further capacity for future games. And we end the developer news with Atlus. Sega are considering the release of Persona 5, the Phantom X for Japan and worldwide audiences. It's currently only available in China and Korea. Kazuma Kaneko, the well-known SMT artist who left Atlus recently, has stated that the new game he is working on is called Project Mask. It's a mobile game, nothing more shared on that though. The base version of Shin Megami Tensei 5 will be removed from the Switch eShop on June the 13th in light of the upcoming release of Vengeance. This makes sense, Vengeance will be the definitive version, so there's not really a reason to keep the original there anymore anyway. And lastly, a bit more information was given on Metaphor ReFantazio, including the fast and squad battle system, Phase Sight to detect the danger level of enemies, and the idea of dungeon crawling too, which seems to be a notable part of the game. As always, we'll conclude the May roundup with upcoming releases, starting with delays. Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus for Switch has been delayed to July the 25th, and the Neptunia Rebirth trilogy has been delayed in the West to an unspecified date. Visual novels are up briefly. A 1999 key visual novel called Canon is coming west for PC via Steam, no release date was given. And the romance visual novel duology of the quintessential quintuplets has released this month for PS4, Nintendo Switch and PC. To the RPG side of things, and we'll start with the Japan-only releases. A puzzle battle RPG called Kamibako Mythology of Cube is releasing on August the 29th for PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch and PC. Action RPG Persona 3 Aegis, the first mission, is releasing on Nintendo Switch and PC for June the 6th. Turn-based RPG Riviera the Promised Land Remaster is now on mobile after also releasing on Switch. It is coming to PC later down the line. Turn-based RPG Tenshi no Uta Collection is releasing on September the 12th for Nintendo Switch. Turn-based RPG Rhapsody 20th Anniversary Collection is coming to PS5 and Nintendo Switch for August the 29th. This is basically like Mile Kingdom Chronicles that released in the West recently, but with the first Rhapsody included. Action turn-based hybrid RPG Kai no Kiseki Farewell Ozamuria is releasing on September the 26th for PS4 and PS5. And mystery adventure title Master Detective Archives Raincode is releasing on July the 18th for PS5, Xbox Series and PC. The PS5 version will be getting a physical release. But it is also coming west too, so let's shift over to the western releases. It's going to be releasing on October the 1st. Dungeon RPG Witch and Lilies has entered early access this month for PC. Comedic yet serious deck builder RPG Serial World is releasing for PC in winter 2025. Turn-based RPG Designated Demigod is releasing for PC on a yet unspecified date. Turn-based RPGs Mega Man Battle Network, Phantom of the Network and Legend of the Network have both received a fan translation this month. Real-time RPG Scars of Mars will release for PC on June the 20th. Action RPG Sword of the Necromancer Resurrection will release for all modern platforms in summer this year. Poker-themed RPG, so very niche here, All In Abyss Judge the Fake is releasing on PC for 2024. Deck Builder RPG Card and Seal will release for all modern platforms in October 2024. Action RPG Neptunia Game Maker R Evolution is releasing on Xbox Series on a yet unannounced date. It's already available on PS4, PS5 and Nintendo Switch. Turn-based RPG Witchspring R will release for Xbox One, PS5 and Switch for August 29th. It's already available on PC and PS4. Turn-based RPG Alzara Radiant Echoes is currently in the Kickstarter phase for consoles and PC, planned for a 2026 release. Action RPGs Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Final Remix, 2.5 Final Remix, 2.8 Final Chapter and Kingdom Hearts 3 with the Remind DLC will release for PC on June the 13th via Steam. They're already available on the Epic Games Store. Action RPG Rain Artist will release for PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch and PC for September the 27th. And finally, in light of Dragon Quest Day, turn-based RPG Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake has been announced with no release date as of yet for PS5, Xbox Series, Switch and PC. It is worth noting that though the name wasn't outright given, the familiar mark of Erdrick was shown along with the Dragon Quest logo and HD 2D stamp above. In fact, some people are saying that it's not just Dragon Quest III getting this treatment as a result of this, it's the entire Erdrick trilogy, or in other words, the first 3 games. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe for more JRPG content and consider joining my Patreon if you're interested. Peace.